Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic evening, wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to another post-match reaction, the final one of the season. It's gone by really, really quickly. I think the last couple of weeks have definitely gone by very, very quickly. And yeah, was everyone prepared for today? Probably not. But it is done. The Jurgen Klopp era is officially over, but we did get a win for Jurgen in the last day, which, to be fair, is a very historic win for Jurgen Klopp. He's made more history at the football club as well that we'll talk about in a bit later on as well. Anyway, but of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the reaction of the game and everything involving that man of the matches and so on. Again, I don't think many people really cared about the game. It was more the after the game in that sense as well. Of course, obviously, elsewhere, obviously Manchester City did win the Premier League. Again, boo. And look, it is what it is. But hopefully Liverpool come back stronger next season with Arnie Slot anyway. But let's get your guys' thoughts anyway in here as well. Red Machine sending yo as well, live and adventure as well, also sending good evening everyone. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. Again, if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button and all that good stuff as well. Hit the share button as well, guys, very much appreciated as always. And yeah, for the final time this season as well. 3 months now we have until no Liverpool. Of course there'll be there'll be definitely more videos on the channel. Of course, we won't be going anywhere over the summer and so on. We'll be talking, of course, a bit about transfers, of course, obviously squad. Obviously, we're going to do an overall Premier League show at some point this week, talking about again the whole league season. Obviously, probably discuss as well next season as well. Obviously, the teams that are coming up, obviously the teams that are going down and everything as well, and talk about the top of the league in that aspect as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. The slot machine as well, yeah, absolutely adventure. Evening Luke saying, who remembers when Ricky said Liverpool would finish 8th? You need to clip it, put it out everywhere. But transfers, Euros, and Copa America plus pre-season. Yes, it's going to be a very busy summer. And look, we're still waiting for the official announcement. We know Jurgen Klopp did announce Arnie Slot by himself, so I bet John Henry loved that in Jurgen Klopp's speech. But look, yeah, it is going to be a very busy summer for everyone involved as well. If you would like Euro, and Copa America content on the channel, then let us know, because again, we might do things around it in the summer, things away from Liverpool and all that stuff as well, and just talk genuinely about, again, we could look at Liverpool players in the competitions as well, but again, there will be big news coming up in the next couple of weeks for sure. Anyway, but talking it onto the game as an overall perspective, was a pretty dull game. I'm not going to lie. Look, that red card for Nelson Semedo did, put the nail in the coffin for Wolves. Look, was it a red card? I've seen plenty of people say, their thoughts. Some people thinking it was a harsh red card. I did think it was a bit harsh. I think, 10 years ago, that type of challenge would have been a yellow card, and that's it. In some aspects it wouldn't even been a yellow card, but again, we've seen that so many times this season when the foot's gone over the ball and they've stamped on the ankle or the foot, and we've seen even on our own perspective, look at Curtis Jones won away to Spurs earlier on in the season. That was given as a red card, and at the time didn't think it's a red card. Now I don't think it's a red card neither. So I think Wolves did get a bit hard done by there, but again, I've seen them given this season. I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. I do think it's a bit harsh. I think it's a strong yellow, but I don't know. I think he goes more down on his foot. I'd have to see it again, to be fair. But from memory anyway. I do think he went down more on his foot than his ankle, but again, you see those so many times this season in particular, and again, obviously that will obviously come up in the VAR vote as well, coming up I think the first week of June, I think it is. So again, we'll have that cleared up hopefully very, very soon as well. But it did realistically lay everything down for the game. Liverpool were sloppy at times. It wasn't a great first half in particular. Again, like I said, the red card helped. Obviously, the two goals as well from obviously Alexis McAllister and Joel Konza as well. Konza, again, getting more goals than Joe Gomez, which again is a bit frightening in that sense. But again, look, I know Javier Elliott's in that picture as well, but again, Maka has been brilliant this season. Up there definitely for player of the season for Liverpool. Obviously, when we do talk about it on a separate video, his name's definitely going to be up there for sure. But overall today, look, it wasn't the cleanest performance, and I think everyone would agree with that. Look, Liverpool should have again scored about 5 or 6 in a game, and we didn't end up doing that. And it was again a very frustrating game going forward. But that was the classic Jurgen Klopp game, in my opinion, and it was a good send off. Look, the crowd today was brilliant from start to finish. I don't think there was a minute silence in the stadium today, to be fair. But again, it just goes to show that how many times like Liverpool this season have done what we have done. It is certainly in the Wolves game. Like look at Man United, Palace at home as well. So many opportunities missed, and it could have been it could have been 4, it could have been 5 for Liverpool. Wolves could have even got a goal or 2 because we were that exposed at the back at times. And I think that's definitely something that again, Arne Slot will have to work on in the summer, of course, making Liverpool defensively a bit better than what we have been this season. But obviously, like we'll speak, about Jurgen Klopp's speech, but I think even Jurgen said in the speech, the foundations for Liverpool to move on and go get even better next season, they're there. And I think, look, the season overall, I think people are a bit disappointed for what we was in that sense. Again, Liverpool, we were very close, wasn't we, to winning the league title, and again, I think we were, what was it, 9 points in the end, I think we were off. But it's a very good foundation block to go on to next season and to build off of it, and what we could potentially do next season if everything goes all to plan in that sense. We could then go and challenge a lot more with a few signings here and there. Again, Liverpool have a very exciting squad for next season, and it is Liverpool do have a very exciting squad for the future, and that goes down to the forward line. It goes down midfield as well. Like for me, next season, Liverpool, if we get a proper DM in, I think Liverpool, midfield already is strong enough. But as it is right now, it probably isn't. But still, that's obviously into next season. But obviously, the main one, and obviously the main focus of the game was this man, of course, Jurgen Klopp, his last ever Liverpool game. And look, I think everyone had a bit of emotion in them, didn't they? Chat with Jurgen Klopp. Again, what an unbelievable 9 years it has been. 9 very quick years, I should say, in that regard. Again, when Jurgen did join, I think I was 16 when Jurgen joined, which again, some people might have been older, younger in that sense, but again, the years have just flown by. And obviously, it wasn't just him, neither, that we did say goodbye to today. Obviously, we did say goodbye to Thiago, and we did also say goodbye to Joel Matip as well. As you can see there, Virgil very, very eager to slap Joel Matip on the end as well. But more so, I'll talk about both individually as well. Thiago, what could have been in a Liverpool shirt. I think we all said, didn't we, chat, that Thiago was one of those luxury signings that we did get, and especially under Jurgen Klopp, was meant to be the guy that was transforming our midfield into more of a a passing midfield in that sense. And what we got, the 21-22 season, for me, that was prime Thiago. In a Liverpool shirt, again, that running that we had, trying to chase Manchester City for the title, and obviously get to the Champions League final. That Thiago and the performances he did perform in that spell as well was nothing short of brilliant. And I'm just gutted that we didn't get to see that Thiago Alcantara week in, week out, in a Liverpool shirt. And look, there's reports out there that he's going to stay in Europe this season, for next season, as well. So I wish him all the best. Same with Joel Matip as well. It looks like Joel Matip's going to go to Lazio, which again, I think that's a perfect move for him. A defensive Italian league, it will be a really good move for him, whether or not that does get confirmed or not. But again, I wish them both the best. But for even the two of them, I mentioned in terms of Thiago, even Joel Matip. Joel Matip, he's enjoyed a lot of success for Liverpool, and being one of Liverpool's best defenders. He's probably second. Apart from Virgil van Dijk, he is probably one of Jurgen Klopp's best signings ever. He's definitely one of the best defenders under Jurgen Klopp, but it is that sense as well where injuries have been a big thing for him, and just unfortunately, again, the player Joel Matip, even this season, if he hadn't had the injuries, again, we may be speaking about him getting a new contract, maybe a 1-year deal. But again, being out for so long, Liverpool can't afford to do that. We've seen with the midfield how long, we waited and waited, and then, we saw the demise of Liverpool. It's all about moving on now. And look, Liverpool will sign centre-backs this summer. We know this. But what a player, leaving the club in terms of Joel Matip. And yeah, it's really sad letting him go. But again, you just wish that the injuries hadn't happened, because that partnership between him and Virgil van Dijk, when we went on to win the league, was, very, very strong. And I think people to forget, again, the 18-19 season, the beginning of the 19-20 season, Joel Matip was a very, very pivotal player in what we wanted in that player alongside Virgil van Dijk. And look, he very much played up to par on him as well. So I'm sad that Joel Matip is going to leave the club at the end of the season. But again, I think all of us can fully understand why he's leaving the football club as well anyway. But Venture saying left centre-back, DM, other winger, forward, and fully fit Jota, and a fully firing Mo as well for next season, hopefully. Again, it'll be interesting in terms of the tactics, though, as well, what happens next season, because we know Slot plays a bit differently to Jurgen. Same foundations in terms of pressing football and heavy metal football, but again, there's a bit more tweaks, from an Arnie Slot team to a Jurgen Klopp side as well. And even thinking about Jurgen for the future as well. He I think even said in tonight's press conference that after the game that, again, never say never with him not being a manager. Obviously, there's a lot of talk of him not being a manager anymore. But there is that saying of never say never in football. I think he will come back to management at some point. I do think it will be the German national team, because again, you get to have more time off. Again, that being his final job to represent his nation, I think that would be the perfect thing for Jurgen. But in terms of club football, I do think Liverpool is his last club. Just everything, him saying and that. And I think, I think all of us can have, an hour conversation of, what Jurgen Klopp has done for this football club. And again, we've done, videos over the past week and spoken about, the importance of Jurgen Klopp. But I fully expected him to be a lot more emotional today, and I really did think that. I thought, again, you can see, based on photos and that of him, again, a guard of honor. By the players and the staff and so on. Obviously, of course, all the people leaving Liverpool, like obviously Pep Linders and co as well, obviously John Achtenberg as well, leaving. And you can see by Jurgen's face, but they're really happy. But that, you could see on everyone's face that everyone was happy. And I thought it would have been a lot more emotional. I'm not going to lie, when Virgil started crying to Jurgen, that did get me a little bit personally, but it's something as well where everyone's happy, because I think even though we don't want it to be, it is the right time for a change. Away from Jurgen, I think Jurgen himself, again, he won't come back to football immediately. Not even, even 5-6 months down the line. I don't feel like Jurgen will leave Liverpool, leave the retirement home in that sense, to go to another club. I truly believe that he is going to have a very long break away from football. And I could be proven wrong within 6 months. He might be at Barcelona or somebody like that. But I think what Jurgen, what he has achieved at Liverpool and the foundations that he has built, again, with the players, the style of football, the mentality that he has brought towards the football club, has been nothing short of excellent. And when you've got now the backroom team coming in at Liverpool, again, we've got Michael Edwards back at the football club, Julian Ward, there's so many people that are coming back with with FSG, bringing them back to the football club. You've got Arnie Slot coming in with new, fresh ideas. This squad, the way it is at the minute, you've got exciting talent in Harvey Elliott, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You've got the reliable people in terms of Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, and you can build off of that. And look, Liverpool won't challenge straight away. They won't. I don't think Liverpool will challenge for the league next season. I don't. Obviously, I've already said my expectations for Liverpool for next season. To comfortably get into the top four again, winning a trophy and having a good run in the Champions League. That is an aim. It is an aim, but by no means, I don't think Liverpool should be getting 90 points, end of the first year under Arnie Slot. Again, there's always the case of why not? If things go correctly and things go smoothly, then sure, 100%. Like Liverpool should 100% go for that. But people shouldn't doubt Arnie Slot straight away. Jurgen said it today. Again, he was the one who, started chanting for Arnie Slot and started this, that, and the other. And he believes in this squad of players. He believes that this squad can go on to do amazing things. And with a few tweaks and adjustments in certain areas, it could potentially go and be out of this world. And hopefully that is the case. But what Jurgen has done has been nothing short of brilliant. And I think from everyone, again, it's thank you, Jurgen, because again, what he has done was brilliant. And I hope, again, we do get to see Jurgen again in the future at Liverpool. Hopefully not as a manager, but for elsewhere. But we get to see him somewhere else as well. But that's a good question. Where next for Jurgen? German coach, AC Milan. I think German coach. Obviously, Nagelsmann, I think he signed until 2025, is it, or 2026? But maybe after that, we will see Jurgen Klopp as the German coach. Of course, we know that they've wanted to get him for years. Whether or not they do finally get him, I'm not so sure. But I do think it will be an international coaching job. I don't think it'll be, a club. If it was to be a club, AC Milan's not a bad shout in that question venture. It could very well be, when you there shouldn't be you look at clubs. One thing with Jurgen, every single club he's gone to, there's been a connection with the fans. And what I mean by that, again, look how close, Mainz was with Jurgen, Dortmund was with Jurgen, how close we have been with Jurgen. It's been a very close relationship between Jurgen and the fans. Whether that's, where else is that in Europe? Again, Milan is totally an option. You look at Spain, I know obviously the clubs out there, if Atletico Madrid suddenly wanted to change from that structure, with Diego Simeone, whether or not that would change. Again, Jurgen Klopp might go to Atletico. I think Jurgen's good enough to coach a Madrid or Barca in that sense, but I just don't think he would. He could do, and I think he would do a really, really good job. But could he go back into the Bundesliga? Could he go back to Dortmund potentially? Who knows? And again, there might be a project in a year or two time that he looks at and goes, you know what, I want to be part of that. And look, I think what Jurgen's ultimate vision would be to just see like Pep Linders and so on. You hear all the high praise that Jurgen gives Pep Linders, and obviously Pep Linders being at Liverpool for practically the 9 years that Jurgen was, and just the whole relationship between them two. He'll want to see him coaching at the top level. Again, he's got a very good job now at Salzburg. That's probably a step, and then the next step up's there, hopefully, if things work out good. But I don't know. I'm not too sure where Jurgen could go. But we need to be challenging every year. No reason why not. Yeah, and look, when I say I don't expect us to challenge, if we did challenge for the title, then sure, great. But I don't think there should be automatic pressure on Arne Slot to do, to go out and to get 90 odd points in his first season. Again, he has to find, he needs to find his own team, if that makes sense. And look, we say now week in, week out, we know of it, what Jurgen Klopp's team is. That might not be Arne Slot's team. Again, he may prefer Harvey Elliott over Curtis Jones, for example, or he prefers Maka over Endo in that sense as well. And he should, to be fair, but there's he'll have his own preferences of what he will want from a Liverpool team. And yeah, that's exciting though, as well. Look, Liverpool, we're in unknown waters at the minute of what Liverpool are going to do. We don't have a clue who we're going to sign. We know who Liverpool wants in terms of targets. We know Liverpool wanted, a centre back. We know we want wingers as well. We don't know whether or not we want a DM officially or not, but there hasn't been a clear indication either on who Liverpool are going to try and sign. There's no like this time last year, we knew Liverpool were going to go for Alexis McAllister. We knew that the midfield needed a rebuild. And we had an idea of players who we could bring in. But this summer, it feels like Liverpool are completely in the unknown. And probably that's good for Edwards and co. And Hughes as well, because, again, we don't know who Liverpool are going to sign. But I have no doubt in what the people at the football club are going to do. These people that are coming in, they were the ones that signed, Mo Salah, Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk. Again, Jurgen Klopp did the work on the pitch, but behind the scenes, the Michael Edwards, the Julian Ward, those guys in particular were the guys that developed and brought those people in. But Jurgen Klopp was the guy who elevated them to be superstars, and that's something again that will be hopefully really, really good in the future as well. But of course, this last words on Jurgen anyway before we do shoot off as well. Like it's really emotional that it is an end of an era for Liverpool. saying goodbye to him today, I thought it would have been a lot more emotional. I really did think it would have been full of tears. But look, at the end of the day, when we look back at this moment, and we look back at everything that happened during Jurgen Klopp's era, for me, it's special. And look, we could have won more. We could have won an extra Champions League. We could have won an extra Premier League. But what we did achieve with him is special. And look, I know that City have won the league again today, but look at the numbers. If anyone's seen on social media, again, more people. What was it, like 5 times more people watched Jurgen Klopp's speech than City winning the league, and that just goes to show, what he has achieved at the football club. When he came in, again, Liverpool were in a mess on the pitch. Again, disappointing seasons, with Brendan Rodgers. Obviously, we had the 13-14 season, but after that, it was a mess. And he came in, first season, a League Cup final, Europa League final. Again, we should have won that Europa League, in my opinion. But again, that's football. But again, a season then qualifying for the Champions League. The year after that, get into the Champions League final, which I think everyone at the start of the season, if you had said Liverpool were going to get into the final, I think everyone would have, gone, wow, Liverpool got there. But again, there was always a progression each and every single season. The season after that, get into 97 points, get into the Champions League final again, and actually winning it. That was such a huge step. And I think a lot of people would agree as well. Once you've won the European Cup, you're cemented in Liverpool's history forever. And then the aftermath of that happened, winning the Premier League, obviously not getting to celebrate it in front of fans, and having that opportunity to do that. And that's something as well that is a bitter point, that Liverpool never got to do that. We never got to do that. We never got to celebrate it in person, lifting a Premier League trophy under Jurgen Klopp. That was, again, that's painful in itself. People can go on about, oh, you've won it only once, but and even Arsenal fans today, I've seen plenty of people, plenty of Arsenal fans that I know gutted for them not winning the league. But and it's not to sound any bad in that sense, but look at us. We got to 92 points, didn't win the league. We got to 97 points, didn't win the league. That's heartbreak. And it's funny for me to laugh, but it was heartbreaking. And for the fact that the mentality that Klopp brought to that team, in terms of, again, we go again in doing what we do. And even this season, again, last season was such a bad season, because everything fell apart. I think the Paris final, missing the league out again by a point, not winning the Champions League, that was a huge factor in the poor season that we had last season. But the joy that we've had this season, again, the last month or so hasn't been so great, because again, we didn't go on to win the league like I think a lot of us thought we could have done. But the steps that we've taken from last season going into this season, again, they're huge steps. And I just hope that Liverpool in the future go on to do that even more. And obviously Jurgen has set the foundations there. But that's just hopefully something that we do get to do over the next season as well. Anyway, but again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below before again we do shoot off, because again, look, it's very much it's an emotional time, and again, we'll probably remember over the next couple of weeks as well with Jurgen and the whole, again, what could have been in other seasons, but what we have had and what we have achieved, again, I would say, again, thank you, Jurgen, for everything, because it's one of the memories that we have from this 9 years has been nothing short of special. And yeah, it's very emotional that he has gone, and we're now, the Jurgen Klopp era has ended. And now we wait for the slot era, of course. Oh, yeah, that should get announced tomorrow. To be fair, I think Jurgen's already spoiled that, but it should get announced tomorrow. If it doesn't, I'd be surprised by that anyway. But before we do shoot off, anyway, Avenger saying, I think there has to be some level of expectation. Without that, do we lose the sense of responsibility and drive to be better? 100%. 1,000%. Look, Liverpool should be winning titles and winning Champions Leagues and winning cups every season. Should be 100%. Look at Manchester United. Manchester United have fell off it completely because their identity has disappeared. And I don't think under Slot that will happen. And like I was going to say again, everything is there for Slot to work. Again, you've got the team behind you. You've got the players on the pitch. You've got an amazing group of people. And at United, they didn't have that. And again, when they signed David Moyes, again, there was so many. There's so many mistakes that I think even United fans would even talk about now, but Liverpool won't do that. And it's just there. I just think standards have to be high, and they do. 100% they do. And I think they will be. Look, we didn't know much of Arne Slot probably a month or two ago, but again, what we have learned from him and learned about him is that he has a very high ceiling in what he can produce for Liverpool. And not only him, and of course, his playing style and his philosophy, it does shout and scream of, again, look at Feyenoord. Feyenoord have gone, last season they won the league. This season, again, they finished second, but they finished on a higher points tally than what they did last season. So again, that goes to show, how well PSV have done this season in the Eredivisie. But again, Slot has there's been a progression there, and you hope that's now the same with Liverpool. The both of us now can go on that upward trajectory as well. But yeah, 100%. I would agree with that 1,000%. But I think we're going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, a big thank you to everyone for popping in, and again, obviously the last post match under Jurgen Klopp. Wow, that's weird to say. Anyway, but again, we'll be live probably tomorrow. We'll be live at 9. We're probably going to talk about the Premier League as an overall sense, and just get your guys' thoughts. Hopefully, get a couple of people on to have their thoughts as well. But yeah, the league season is done. Liverpool season is over. The Premier League season is over. We now, wait for the Euros and the Copa America and so on. We wait for obviously the new era under Arne Slot as well. But like, I know plenty of people will still be emotional with Jurgen leaving, and look, rightfully so, because what a magical 9 years it was as well anyway. But if you are new around here as well, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, guys, if anyone is new. Again, massively appreciated with the support for this season, and obviously going into the summer as well. It'll be much appreciated, because again, look, it's very much appreciated on me of how supportive you guys are on the channel as well, because look, it does help. It does really, really help. And look, if you guys would like any content throughout the summer, let me know in the comment section down below. Again, well, obviously transfer news will be a big thing, like it was last summer. But yeah, Euros content, Copa America shows as well. We're doing all of that throughout the summer anyway. But again, last thing I gotta say is thank you, Jurgen Klopp. That's one thing I will say for the rest of my life. But yeah, thank you, Jurgen, for everything. But until tomorrow, anyway, again, leave a like, hit a subscribe button, and hit the notification bell as well, because YouTube are weird with notifications. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you guys for the post-match next season, but I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Premier League show. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.